God himself chose to come on earth, even though he knew that he would be hated, even though that he knew he would get tormented, even though that he knew he would get spat on, he would get mocked by people, but he still chose to come on earth to be the perfect example of love, to also set the perfect example for Christians too, because we see people around us not be perfect, but Christ himself was the perfect example of what a Christian should be like. And again, he was God himself, and so he was able to also fully experience the range of human emotions and empathize with us. He is here. When we cry, he cries with us. When we laugh, he laughs with us. And not only that, but he gave his own life. Once again, even though he knew that the world would hate him, he still came and he suffered to our hands that nailed him on that cross. But what does he say to the sinners who are doing that to him? He's saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. And so even whilst he was being nailed to that cross, he still loved us. He was thinking about each and every single one of us on that cross, and he showed us the perfect example of love by giving his own life away. A world that has pain and suffering meant that sin entered it at some point. And I do mention this in another video too, which is named Who is Jesus? And so I guess there I kind of talk more about sin and how it entered the world and how it was actually our choice to sin. Jesus actually inspires us to be better people, to repent. He expects a heart that is dedicated to him, that actually loves the Lord, that wants to do good and that wants to please the Lord, because God looks at the heart. So let's make a reference to Romans chapter 5 verse 8, which says, "But God demonstrates his own love for us in this: while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." And that goes back to what I said earlier, that Christ was thinking about each and every single one of us on that cross. And he came on earth not to condemn it, but to save the world, to save us. And that's such an important thing to remember, because he lived a holy life, and because he was Lord, he could have easily just saved himself on that cross, to ask the angels to save him, and he would not have died. But he allowed himself to die to our hands. He gave his life away to us so that we can be made right with God. John chapter 3 verse 17 says, "But God did not send his son into the world to condemn the world, but to save the world through him." And once again, God looks at the heart. Even though we might not be perfect, he looks at our intentions behind what we do. And we can see that in Proverbs chapter 21 verse 2, which says, "People may be right in their own eyes, but the Lord examines their heart."